Back in the day, a temple was getting constructed near city, being made of wood. There were many sawyers working. The area was filled with wood logs, beam and peels, both semi and unfinished. Situated outside the town, the workers had to go to the city for lunch, deserting the place during noon. One day at lunch hours, workers started to leave. A sawyer put a masonry nail in a half-cut log, as it makes easier to insert the saw in the gap on coming back. Shortly, a troop of monkeys wandered there, which included a rather unruly one, habitually messing with objects with no purpose. Sensing around, the pack leader ordered everyone to stay away from the construction material. Everyone followed, but this monkey sneaked back and started monkeying around. The half-cut log caught his sight. The nail caught his curiosity. The saw nearby broke his restraint. He picked saw and started rubbing it over the log, making a grinding sound, kurr kurr. This sound, meaning loafer in their dialect, irritated him, so he threw it away. The curiosity over the nail revived. What if I pull out the nail from this log? Was the curiosity he could not overcome. He tried pulling the tight nail stuck in the log, acting like a clip spring. He tried harder. The little wobbling of nail was instantly gratifying. The wobbling encouraged the monkey. The encouragement increased his strength. Unaware, his tail came in between the plank of the log. Drowning in excitement, he gave a strong pull and the nail came out. The planks collapsed inside like a spring. His tail stuck in between. He could only shout in pain. By now, the workers had started returning. He panicked. Adrenaline tuned him to flight. He pushed hard himself out of planks, but the tail ripped and he ran away with what was left of his tail. Narrating the story, Kartak summed up, I would dissuade you to be involved in something without an objective. Purposeless acts can cost life. We anyway get our share of the hunts from Pinglak. It serves no purpose to get into his matters. Damnak retorted, Do you live only to feed? This is wrong. Anyone can get food for himself. Only a life of helping others is ethical. Also, one's unused powers get gradually diminished and provokes guilt. Kartak questioned their locus standi. We do not belong to a ministerial post. A discussion with king have no benefit, except possible ridicule. A person should only try his voice where it can generate some returns. Damnak countered, Your apprehension is misguided. We would be bereft of our modicum of a dignity by being aloof. The one in proximity of the king is looked after by the king, and thus he became special. Kartak probed, So, what do you want? Damnak clarified, King Pinglak is frightened. Even his staff seems to be. I want to know why. Kartak, and how exactly can you say this? Damnak opened up. Just look at his composure, his countenance. The fear is evident. I will talk to him and infer the reason of his fear, and then will use my learning to assuage his fear. Enthralling him, I will attain the minister post. Kartak pressed further. You have no skill of serving a king. What are your plans for then? Damnak explained. How can you conclude that? As a child, I heard a lot about politics and majesty's service from my father, and I have learned it well. Damnak continued. Mother Earth has unlimited treasures, but only for the valiant, for the learned, or for the smart servers of the king. Kartak is still doubtful, asked, "Pray tell what discussion you are planning with Pinglak." Damnak declined, "That cannot be foretold. The discussion will take its own course based on the context. The right and wrong and the timings are suitable." He cited, "I heard this sitting in my father's lap, that one who talks out of context loses respect, be him even Brihaspati, the guru of gods." Kartak had surrendered. "Just remember, as mountains filled with violent animals like lion, tigers, and shrewd snakes are inaccessible and obscure," he warned. "Just the same, kings get accompanied by cruel and evil minds and become intolerant and fastidious, ready to bite like a poisonous snake over single misstep." Damnak agreed. "You are right. A wise person gratifies his master by satisfying the whims of his master. It is a primary trick to control him." Kartak had understood the determination of Damnak. He closed his argument. "Go ahead if you have decided. Just remember, be careful near the king. Our fate is interlinked. May you achieve success." Having reached mutual agreement, he greeted his friend goodbye and departed to reach Pinglak. Pinglak was sitting within his security detail when he saw Damnak approaching. Pinglak ordered, "Damnak, kin of my former chief minister, is coming. Allow for his entry and arrange for appropriate seating." Damnak greeted Pinglak with protocol and seated himself nearby in a group, second to ministers. Blessing Damnak with affection, Pinglak enquired about his well-being and his arrival after a long time. Damnak ventured, "Your Majesty, what purpose of yours can I serve?" But even kings could take help from a saint, a human, or a fiend at times. "My family have been at your service since generations," he continued. "Sadly, we might not be in service anymore, but you remain the sole receiver of our services. I might be feeble, but would request you to call upon us any time needed." Pinglak, already too anxious for a small talk, replied, "Do not be afraid, my godchild. Say clearly what you want to." Damnak felt excused for an open talk, but decided against discussing the king's fear publicly and requested for a confidential dialogue. Pinglak took an assertive look at his team. They moved away. Once alone, Damnak touched the raw nerve. "Master, you were going towards Yamuna for water, but you suddenly returned back, sitting here with an uneasy look on your face." Damnak simultaneously covered Pinglak's retreat too. "Master, it is okay. If you want not to divulge, for even the scriptures agree that few things must be kept a secret even from a spouse." Pinglak was initially hesitant but decided to trust Damnak's cleverness. "Damnak, can you hear this infrequent roar?" Damnak replied affirmatively. Pinglak explained, "And that is vexing me. It was far louder near the banks. Could it be that a more powerful animal has arrived here? I am even contemplating retreating from the forest." Damnak tried to calm him down. "Master, it will not be apt to run away just over loud sounds. Even musical instruments have a strong and deep tone. Before leaving your ancestral zone, I would advise to learn the source of it." Damnak reasoned, lest the story of fearful Gomayu Jackal come alive, who later discovered that the drum is all air. Pinglak got curious. Pray tell the story,